Hello and welcome to this video tutorial for bookstagrammers.com. My name is Antina van der Veen. I am the founder of this website. In this tutorial, I will be teaching you how to run your book tour or brand campaign on bookstagrammers.com. Let's go and check out the website. Before I dive in any further, I want to tell you that bookstagrammers.com is a website for collaborations with all types of book influencers. This means we have bookstagrammers, of course, check out our brand name, but we also have book talkers, booktubers, and book bloggers. So you can use our platform for promotions on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and on personal blogs. So, over 4,000 book influencers from all over the world have a registered profile on our website. Their profiles include their social media channels, their favorite book genres, the country they live in, etc. These people log into our platform to see if there are any new book tours or campaigns for them to register for. You, as the brand manager, can draw their attention by publishing a briefing about your book, your product, or your service to the back end of the website, so no one else but the book influencers will see it. To do so, you will need a brand profile first. Click the blue login button on the right of the screen. To log in, we need to register first. Click Sign Up here. Then, pay attention, we don't want to register as a book influencer, but as a brand manager. Make sure you're in the right section. The URL on top of your page should say bookstagrammers.com/brands sign up. If you're not sure, just check out what it says on the website. Want to sign up as a brand? Click here. Just click that button. Then you will go to the purple section. Enter your name, your email address, choose a password, and click Sign Up. We are in our profile settings now, and we will need to complete our profile. This is important because your information will be visible if people check out your briefing. Also, book influencers will communicate with you during your book tour or brand campaign by using chat. So let's fill in the profile settings. As you can see, I entered my full name and an imaginary brand name. I used my bio to announce my role, and I entered publishing as my industry. I'm from the Netherlands, which you probably already heard from my accent and my mistakes, so I filled that in with country. I also uploaded my profile picture, which you can now see above my profile settings. Then there's also the option to upload a company logo. This is important because the company logo is visible on the presentation page of your briefing. The image at the bottom of this screen shows what your briefing looks like to the book influencers. On the left is the image company logo. If you don't have a company logo because you're an indie author, for instance, you can use this field to upload a cover of your book. Done with your profile? Just click Save Changes. Now that our profile is finished, let's take a look at our options. We can always go back to our profile settings to make changes or to set up a new password. We can also start our chat conversations here and see if we have new messages. Chat is the one and only way you will communicate with your candidates for your book tour or brand campaign. If you have a new chat message, a blue dot will appear next to the word chat. If your chat messages are still unread after 6 hours, we will send you an email notification. But please make sure that they don't end up in your spam folder. It's important to know that book influencers can't initiate a chat conversation with you. You are the one that starts the conversation. I will show you later how to do this. But first, let's dive into the campaigns. Click Campaign. Obviously, we have no campaigns yet, so there are 0 entries at this time. But if you choose to run multiple campaigns, you will have an overview of all of them here. To set up our first book tour or brand campaign, we will just click the blue button on the right, Add Campaign. For the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to pretend like I'm setting up a book tour for the promotion of my imaginary book. But this same format can be used for any other type of promotion, of course. So, we will start by writing a campaign title. Book promotion, followed by the name of my book, the name of the author, and I'm also adding the publisher's name. That's it, the title is done. Then we will work on the most important part of our briefing, the campaign summary. This is our pitch because it is the first thing the book influencers will read. Based on the summary, they will click to see the details of your campaign, or they will just scroll down to check out other briefings. So make sure your campaign summary is good. The campaign summary is a short description with the highlights of your campaign. First of all, it's an invitation. Image Publishing invites you to promote The Imaginary Book by Antina van de Veen. And I'm also adding just a few words about the book itself, a fantasy novel about dragons. Then it's time to be specific about who you want to invite to this campaign. In the first example, the campaign is open to everyone on the platform, an international campaign for all book influencers. You can do that, but you can also choose to specify. In the second example, I'm more specific. It's a US-Canada only campaign. They need to have at least 1,000 followers on Instagram, or they need to average 500 video views on TikTok. For your information, average video views on TikTok and on YouTube are way more important than follower numbers. The algorithm of TikTok is very different to Instagram's. On Instagram, you can be pretty sure that a certain amount of followers will lead to a certain amount of impressions. On TikTok, however, you're better off looking at how well videos perform instead of just checking out follower numbers. Let's get back to the second example. It also includes a sentence about financial compensation. If you can offer something extra, an incentive, you can mention it already in this section and be more specific in the campaign details. Make sure your summary is not longer than 2 or 3 sentences. Now, let's talk about the campaign details. You will use this section of the briefing to be more specific. Let's get back to our example for a book tour. First, we can add our blurb here in the About the Book section, followed by information about the author. Then be specific about what you expect of them. Do you want them to write a review, or is a promotion enough for you? If you want people to review your book, it will take more time to see results on social media. They will need time to read your book first. Also, there's a chance that they don't like what they read. Our advice is to always add a sentence like this. In case you don't like the book, please reach out to us through chat. You'll have a chance to prevent them from posting a bad review. Tell them what you'd like to see appear on social media. If you're not specific, you're leaving it up to them what to post. Here are some common examples of what you could ask them to do. It's pretty normal to ask for a dedicated Instagram post or a dedicated TikTok video, or a 1-minute mention in a YouTube video. Also, be specific about your offer. In case of our book promotion, you need to tell them whether they will receive a physical book or an ebook. Maybe it's impossible for you to distribute physical books around the world, but you can include other countries by distributing ebooks. If you want to send Kindle ebooks to other countries, be sure to reach out to us first so we can advise you on how to handle this. Tell the book influencers which mentions and/or hashtags you would want them to use. A mention is a tag of your account on, for instance, Instagram or Twitter. For the hashtags, you could share specific hashtags for your book, product, or service with them. Most book influencers know how to reach their audience with more general hashtags such as fantasy book or hashtag bookstagram or hashtag readers of Instagram. If you want to be sure they won't forget a hashtag that you think is important for the promotion, then add it to the list. Let's continue. In the language section, we need to add the language in which we want them to communicate. In this example, I chose English, but you could also state any language. In the preferred type of bookstagrammer, which also includes any other type of book influencer, you need to select all tiers that can participate in your campaign. The same goes for the preferred platform. Select all platforms that are of interest to you. Now let's talk about the rewards, the most difficult section of all. First of all, it must be a short sentence, otherwise you won't be able to submit your briefing. In this example, I entered the imaginary book plus a financial compensation. In my campaign details, I wrote, "We are open to discussing a financial compensation with you through chat." If you can be more specific than this, that would be great. Incentives will help you attract book influencers from higher tiers. And we have people aboard with hundreds of thousands of followers, and they receive so many free books and other stuff that brands and publishers are lucky if they get any airtime. So by adding an incentive and be very clear about it, that is paid after a posted promotion, you will guarantee yourself publicity. Because if they don't post, you don't pay. So let's say you want to work with book influencers of 10K and up, and you have a total budget of $1,000 for payouts. It would be very attractive for book influencers to see your campaign briefing with a rewards section saying something like, "The imaginary book plus $1,000 in rewards." They would want a piece of that. It's pretty normal for book influencers of 10K and up to receive a financial compensation of something between $50 and $100. For every extra 10K followers, you should add about $25 to this deal. You could pay in cash or use gift cards. That's up to you. These compensations are not included in the platform fee, though. They need to be handled by you. If you'd like us to handle the payouts for you, we will send you an invoice for the payouts plus 20% for handling. Now, adding incentives to your briefing is not an obligation. We want to be clear about that. It's just an option, and it will help you attract more and better people for your campaign. The next thing we need to decide on are the registration dates and the live dates. The registration dates are the dates in between which candidates can register for your book tour or brand campaign. The start date would usually be the day that you write your briefing. Once you submit your briefing, we need a maximum of 24 hours to check it and to publish it to the platform. If we see improvements for your briefing, we will email you about it before your briefing gets published. The end date of registration is usually 10 to 14 days after the start date. We need this window because we send out our newsletter only once a week. This newsletter is by far the most important way to notify our book influencers about new book tours and brand campaigns. We also use Instagram and a private Facebook group and TikTok to notify the book influencers of your briefings. Then the live dates. These are the dates in between which people are expected to publish about your book, your product, or your service. Take into account that you'll need time to make your final selection after the end date of registration. You will also need time for distributions, and in case of an expected review of a book, you will also need to give your candidates time to read your book. So don't make the window too narrow. In this example, I gave people the whole month of February to post about my book. They can pick their own date. If you want to run a classical book tour with promotions set on specific dates, then of course that's possible too. Just use the chat to discuss and set dates with your participants. We've come to the last part of our briefing. You can add attachments to it. In the example of my book promotion, I would upload the cover of my book. When you're done filling all the data, just click Submit. Now and then we hear that people aren't able to submit the briefing. It just won't save. Normally, one of these three things are wrong. You have entered far too much text in the language or rewards section. Keep it short. If you have done so, then check out this one. Have you used any emojis or strange text formats that can be recognized by our system? The solution is to take out the emojis, paste your text into Notepad, and then add it again. Or you're trying to add attachments that are too large. Please make your attachment smaller and try again. You should be able to submit your campaign now. Now we wait. Your briefing is published to the platform. The newsletter will mention your offer, and we will promote your briefing on Instagram, Facebook, and/or TikTok. You'll just need to give people some time to register. Our advice is to log into bookstagrammers.com a few days after your briefing was published. You can start doing pre-selections. You can initiate chat conversations, etc. Let's see what that looks like. Once you click the headline of your campaign in the campaign section of your menu, you'll arrive in this screen. The first people have registered for your campaign. Now it says interested bookstagrammers, but in fact these people are bookstagrammers, booktoggers, booktubers, and bookbloggers. What options are there in this screen? We have an overview here of people that are interested. We can see their faces and their names. And there are also 3 buttons in the top of their pictures. The Feed button, the first one, is to pre-select them for the campaign. The X button is to reject them. This cannot be reversed. So be sure. And if you click the little balloon, you can start a chat conversation with this specific person. There's also a blue button on the top of the screen which says Send Bulk Message. This is a very handy way of sending a message to your whole group or a part of your group at once. Before you can make any decisions about if you want to work with these people or not, you will need to know a little bit more about them, right? So let's zoom in on Serena's profile. Just click her name. Here we are. Now we can see more information about this specific person. Serena is from India. She speaks English. Serena has also filled in a bio and picked the genres they enjoy most. You can also see that their platform is Instagram, so if you click the Instagram icon, a new screen will open and you will be directed to their Instagram profile. There you can check out their number of followers, the type of content Serena makes, etc. Are you still not sure whether you want to collaborate with Serena? Well, you could just start a chat conversation and maybe ask a few questions, or ask for a screenshot of some Instagram statistics you might be interested in. Okay, so here you can see what happens when you select someone. They disappear from the interested section and appear in the selected section. You can use the full registration window to make your decision on who to collaborate with. The day after your end date of registration, you will make your final selection. Make sure no one stays in the interested section. Select them if you want to work with them and reject them if you don't. In the end, you will have your final group of book influencers in the selected section. You may pick as many people as you want to collaborate with. It's time to hit the blue Final Selection button. Once you hit that button, your candidates will receive an automated email saying they are selected for a campaign. Hooray! Usually, they'll come to the platform to check for messages. This is a perfect moment to send your group a bulk chat message. Here's an example of a chat message that you can send to your participants. Many book influencers have already shared their home addresses onto their profiles. But in the case of Serena, the profile we saw before, there was no visible address. Serena can make their address visible to you by changing their profile. They need to uncheck the button Hide My Address. But you can also ask them to share their home address with you in chat. Our advice is also to point them again to the details in your campaign briefing and ask them to share the links to their promotions with you. If people do not respond to your chat messages, then please send us an email. We are very happy to assist you. We will use our channels to nudge them and make sure they communicate with you. Stay in touch with your group during the campaign. Best practices are to send a chat message a week after you distributed your book, product, or service to check if they received it. Also, send out messages a week before your live window ends to make sure everyone posts in time. Like I said, we're always here to assist you. Don't hesitate to reach out to the bookstagrammers.com team if you need any assistance in communications with your group. That's it. This is all you need to know to run your book tour or brand campaign on bookstagrammers.com. If you have any questions about our tutorial or if you have questions about your campaign, then reach out to us. You can fill out the form on our website or email contact@bookstagrammers.com. We look forward to facilitating your book tour or brand campaign. Thank you.